ain't gonna lie, I really don't care. I ain't gonna lie. I went out there not only to help, not help, but I went out there for myself, basically. Like, you know, to start my first 2 weeks off of camp.
Canelo was 70-30 Canelo. You know, Canelo been at the weight. He been fighting bigger guys. So he kind of like used to being at the weight. So I would lean more towards.
If Crawford could fight at an intensity that Canelo has not been able to fight for 3 fights now.
Canelo's strong and is easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Yeah. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even hit clean. Yeah. So really that's the difference. And they both hit hard.
Terence Crawford might be heading into the most dangerous test of his career, and that is why Boots Ennis is suggesting he could be in real trouble. Ennis, one of boxing's brightest young stars, gave his perspective on Canelo's camp. Having seen what goes on up close, Ennis explained how different the atmosphere and routine are compared to other fighters. In Canelo's gym, everything is designed with a purpose. Sparring partners are selected with precision, each brought in to simulate something Crawford might try. Training drills are repeated until they are second nature.
I ain't gonna lie, I really don't care. I ain't gonna lie, I went out there not only to help, not help, but I went out there for myself, basically. Like, you know, to start my first 2 weeks off of camp. Out in where we was at, you know, with the elevation and all that was phenomenal. This was for me. It wasn't for nobody else. You know, I went out there and I got to experience, you know, being in the ring with Canelo. And like I said, we was having fun. I had a great time sparring him, and it was good. You know, good.
Ennis described Canelo's sharpness in sparring and the focus in every movement. To him, this was a sign that Alvarez is not just relying on his reputation or natural power. He is drilling himself to face Crawford's speed and adaptability. Ennis's impression left fans with the feeling that Crawford may not be facing an opponent, but an entire system built to cover every possible angle.
That's a big jump, you know, to be, you know, going from 54 to 68. I mean, it's a great fight for boxing, you know, big fight for boxing. Yeah, you know, I think that I guess the world wants to see it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think Crawford has a chance?
I think it's like a 50. You know, I'm gonna say it's like 60-40. Crawford. I mean, not Crawford. 60-40. Canelo was 70-30 Canelo. You know, Canelo been at the weight. He been fighting bigger guys. So he kind of like used to being at the weight. So I would lean more towards Canelo, but you know, I think you know Crawford could have a chance, you know, but I would lean more towards Canelo though.
The topic of weight has followed this fight from the start. Crawford is moving up in divisions, and many wonder if the difference in size will be too much for him. At welterweight, he dominated, but super middleweight is a different world. Alvarez has been comfortable there for years, facing bigger and stronger opponents without issue. This has fueled the argument that Canelo enters with a natural advantage.
We got a couple more days, and y'all gonna see Canelo fighting Crawford, so I ain't got no comment on who gonna win the fight, you dig? If Crawford do what he's supposed to do, he got an option. If he don't beat Canelo. Simple as that, you know? If Crawford don't do what he gotta do, he gonna lose. Don't ask me who gonna win. I'm not the judge of the fight. I'm not even fighting, you know? I'm just trying to.
But Eddie Reynoso, who has trained Canelo throughout his prime, rejected this idea. To him, boxing is not won on the scales, but in the ring. He insisted that what will decide this clash is skill, patience, and the ability to execute a strategy. He said, there's speculation out there that because he's going up or because he's going down, but whenever there are these kinds of confrontations, there always has to be someone going up or someone going down, agreeing on the pounds. He's taller than Saul, and they know how to work very well to make the weight properly. Reynoso sees this fight as something bigger than a conversation about who weighs more. For him, it is about history being written when two great fighters take the ultimate risk. He called this matchup a defining moment of the era and dismissed the weight argument as little more than noise. Mike Tyson, never shy about making his thoughts clear, added another layer to the conversation. Tyson has long admired Terence Crawford's technical skills, his ability to switch stances and find openings that others miss. Yet in this fight, Tyson is leaning toward Canelo. He believes that the Mexican's pressure, size, and natural strength will eventually overwhelm Crawford. Tyson acknowledged Crawford's brilliance, but pointed out that stepping up against a seasoned champion who thrives under pressure is a different test entirely.
You know, I would like for that to happen, but this guy's a hard puncher. He's a smart fighter. He can move. I'm just curious. I just want to see it. I want to be there and see it. Because listen, there's been upsets like that before. You know, Henry Armstrong, 124 pounds, he beat the 146-pound champ. So, you know, you never know. Anything can happen when two men are in a ring or in a basketball court. Anything can happen.
As if the sporting challenge was not enough, the financial details show another kind of gap between the two fighters. Reports have revealed that Canelo will earn vastly more than Crawford. While Crawford's purse is still massive compared to most boxers, Alvarez's earnings for this fight are on another level. The numbers highlight his drawing power and global recognition. For years, Canelo has been the face of boxing, carrying the sport in some of its biggest events. He has built a following that translates into huge pay-per-view numbers and massive gates.
Inglewood PD, who do you got? Crawford or Canelo?
Let's start right here. Let's start right here. Crawford or Canelo.
Let's take out all the you know, particulars. Let's go boxing only.
And he's a redhead. Let's start right here.
I gotta go Canelo on that.
Canelo? Let's go.
That's one for Canelo.
Officer Return. Canelo?
I think Canelo's too big. Crawford has to go up 2 weight classes, right? So I don't think.
That's 3 for Canelo. 4 for Canelo.
All right. My pick is this. Okay. If Crawford can fight at an intensity that Canelo has not been able to fight for 3 fights now. Canelo's getting old, 100%. Canelo's getting old. We know that.
He's older.
He's getting older.
Crawford's 37.
Crawford, despite being undefeated and widely respected, has not commanded that same global attention. The pay gap reflects that reality. For many, it is another reminder of who the true A side of this event is. Canelo brings not only his fists, but also the spotlight, and that changes how the fight is packaged and sold.
How do you see this fight with Canelo going?
I'm definitely going to win the fight, for sure. But, you know, I think it's going to be a tough fight. You know, I think he's going to bring the best out of me. I'm going to bring the best out of him, and it's going to be an exciting fight.
Experts breaking down the technical side have presented clear paths for each fighter. For Crawford, the key is adaptability. Throughout his career, he has shown the rare ability to change stances, adjust tactics, and control the rhythm of a fight. His counterpunching is one of his best weapons. Against opponents who try to rush in, he has consistently found ways to land sharp shots that change momentum. Analysts believe that if Crawford is to win, he must stay disciplined, use his feet, and make Alvarez chase. He cannot allow himself to be trapped on the ropes, where Canelo's body shots can slowly break down even the toughest fighters.
I don't think he is, but if he beats Canelo, he'll be like my #1 fighter of all time.
You don't think Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so. And look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just gonna treat him as a 147 pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing, you know. The jump would be hard, even if it was just like some top 10,
right, yeah.
You know.
Bud, would you say he's a very smart fighter?
Yes.
Very calculated,
Yes.
right? Don't you think that maybe he sees something that most people aren't seeing?
I think he does, but the thing is he gonna be able to even like to capitalize on it?
Another point raised was Crawford's tendency to start slow, using early rounds to figure opponents out. Against Canelo, experts warned that it may be dangerous. Alvarez is too skilled at winning early rounds, and Crawford cannot afford to fall behind on the cards.
I feel like every time I've spoken about Canelo and Crawford, the only thing I'm talking about is Crawford. So I said, you know what, today I'm gonna flip the script. Today it's all about Canelo for me, but I gotta keep it real. You're right, this is a 50-50 fight. Let me look at this from Canelo's perspective and the experience. What we've seen come from Canelo is the patience. Something that I know from my own personal experience, a guy that shows a lot of patience and you don't bother him by winning rounds. From my experience against Crawford, if you have the ability to punch between his punches, find his timing and release something, those are the opportunities you have to catch him.
Canelo's strengths are equally well known. His pressure is not reckless, but carefully constructed. Step by step, he cuts off the ring, forcing opponents into corners where his body work can take over. Experts highlighted that once Canelo lands his body shots, fighters begin to fade. Their movement slows, their guard drops, and his power to the head becomes even more dangerous. Crawford, they argued, has never faced someone with this level of educated pressure.
Do you think Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez?
Yeah, I think he can win.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to win, but I think he can win.
So
but he's going to have to box a brilliant fight.
Okay, what kind of a fight? I'm going to get to that. I asked the great Larry Merchant, 94 years old, living on Ocean Boulevard in Santa Monica, looking out at the ocean, reflecting on all the amazing things he did. And I asked Larry, I said, do you think Terence Crawford has a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez? And Larry said, Jim, did Ray Leonard get an official decision victory over Marvelous Marvin Hagler? And I said, yes, he did. He said, well, if Ray Leonard could beat Marvelous Marvin Hagler, then Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo also has one of the strongest chins in boxing, meaning that Crawford's counters may not carry the same effect as they would against others. For many analysts, the real challenge for Crawford is not whether he can land, but whether he can land enough to discourage Alvarez from marching forward. If he cannot, the fight could turn into the type of grind that Canelo has made a career out of winning.
He might be even stronger than Canelo. He might pack the weight on well, that he might do really well in there. So look,
you fought them both. Like, what are the differences between them? Obviously, it's weight.
Canelo's strong and he's easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Yeah. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even hit clean. Yeah. So really, that's the difference. And they both hit hard. Yeah. Because, and you can see the strength. You know, when I was fighting against Crawford, I didn't think Crawford was that strong, but when he kind of moved me around a little bit, he is very strong as well. So look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much weight? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go up and fight Canelo?
Eddie Hearn leaned heavily toward Alvarez. He sees a possible upset if Crawford's skill shines brighter than ever, but the majority favor Canelo's proven ability at the weight. Many believe that Crawford will have his moments, perhaps even winning some of the early rounds with movement and sharp counters. But as the fight goes deeper, most expect Canelo's pressure and power to become the deciding factor. The likely outcomes discussed are a Canelo decision, or if Crawford cannot withstand the punishment, a late stoppage. Either way, the consensus suggests that Alvarez has more paths to victory, while Crawford's rely on near-perfect execution.
Do you see that fight now differently based on how Canelo performed against Skull Eddie?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah? Oh, wow.
It wasn't just the fact that he couldn't cut the ring off. I just feel like the timing now, the age, Canelo is amazing. I mean, not just because of his ability and what he's accomplished, but the fact that he still has the desire for those training camps and those fights. But I just feel like that desire might be fading a little bit. Not because of his love for, but just because of age and like life. Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, like the Crawford fight will definitely get him up for it.
When all of these perspectives are placed side by side, the sense that Crawford may be in serious trouble becomes hard to ignore. Ennis praised Canelo's preparation as sharper and more structured than most fighters ever display. Reynoso brushed off size concerns, confident that skill and legacy matter more than pounds on the scale. Tyson predicted Canelo's pressure would be too much. The financial breakdown showed Alvarez as the clear commercial powerhouse. The experts mapped out a fight where Crawford's options are limited, while Alvarez's are many. Each view reinforces the next, building the impression that Crawford is stepping into his toughest challenge by far.
I believe in Terence Crawford, that he can do it. If it's gonna be done,
he can do it.
Yeah. Terence Crawford gonna get it done. But he got a hard task in front of him because
that's Nello, baby.
Yeah, and not only that, he's been reigning for a long time. He got the judges, on his side. If you even look at the scorecards, when it wasn't close, you know what I'm saying?
It was close.
Still, that is what makes this fight so captivating. Crawford is not just chasing a payday or a belt, he is chasing history. His career has been built on taking risks, and this is the ultimate one. He believes his adaptability and skill can overcome size and pressure. On the other side, Canelo is defending not only his titles, but his reputation as one of the greatest of his generation. He has been in with the best, and this fight is another chance to prove that no one can take his throne. Both men are risking everything. Both are walking into a night that will be remembered for years.
Remember, this is an undisputed super middleweight title fight. It just feels a bit lacking of something. Like, I can't believe that Max Kellerman is now part of this. And again, for nostalgia, we haven't got a Max Kellerman face-off. Like, how Canelo speaks great English now. How we haven't got that? Just to kind of give it a bit of spice, because Canelo, with his English, it's like he's only learnt the bad words. He does chat a lot of shit. I feel like it's lacking something. Like, maybe because both of them don't trash talk either. Because when I think of the biggest fights of the last sort of 15, 20 years, you've always had one side of the fight, or one side who's a big trash talker. Canelo ain't saying anything. Crawford ain't saying anything. Feels a bit flat.
For fans, the buildup has created a perfect storm of intrigue. Crawford remains undefeated, sharp, and hungry. Canelo remains the global star, powerful and battle-tested. Every prediction, every comment, and every number adds fuel to the anticipation. If you're ready for more breakdowns, heated debates, and behind-the-scenes fight talk, make sure to like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, share it with fellow fight fans, and subscribe to Ring Rivalry so you don't miss a single moment of the action.